kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is SJIT from St. Joseph's Institute of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
Session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is SJIT from St. Joseph's Institute of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is SJIT from St. Joseph's Institute of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is Hyperon from Institute of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
Session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
Very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is Hyperon from Institute of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
Very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is Snablokos from Senjo of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
Session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
Very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is Snablokos from Senjo of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
Very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design. What kind of paradigm is this programming language following? There are a lot of different paradigms, but this programming language follows two of them. The first one is functional programming paradigm. The second one is going to be logical programming paradigm.
What specific knowledge am I looking at right now? What am I going to do after finding such knowledge or such fact?
My name is Snablokos from Senjo of Technology. I really love this session.
You mind if I be honest? Actually, before 2 years, even I didn't know what AI is. I had no idea about AI.
session was good. It was interactive and I learned a lot of new stuff about MeTTa and Hyperon and things like that. So
Very insightful session for me.
Our main intention was to give students an introduction about how they can use MeTTa to program and code. So we just wanted them to have a basic understanding and be comfortable with writing codes using MeTTa language and be able to design anything that they would want to design using any other programming language. So that's more or less our main and core design.
And we're live. I'm happy to open the floor with our founder, Nefertiti Strong.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Is there a way I can see the audience? Because I don't see anybody. Is there a way that I can do that, or?
Yes. Let me add Yib or Sam. Are you ready to open your camera?
And also, I don't see Logan backstage. Do we have? Oh, there we go. Cool. All right. What's up, buddy? Welcome.
How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I think Sam or Yib, they're going to open up their cameras. We have 45 amazing St. Joseph's Institute technology students in class today. And this is a live stream that will be restreamed on our Beyond the Code YouTube channel. So for those who aren't with us now, they'll have a chance to see this stream later on today. And then also we'll restream it throughout the week for those who continue to join this incubator over the next 4 weeks before we get to the hackathon in September, live in Chennai. So I'm just waiting for my team to open up that camera so we're not just talking to each other, but if that's the case, that's also fine. Oh, there we go.
All right.
All right. Cool. So good afternoon, everybody at St. Joseph's. I'm Nefertiti Strong, founder of Beyond the Code. I'm also the person that maybe some of you guys met when we came to your school last year, myself and Saskia and a few of the devs from ICOG, and also Dr. Ben. So this is part 2 of this session. We're very excited to be with you again. We're very excited to help you guys learn this open source language. And we're also very excited to bring you some inspiration today with one of my very dear friends who has a very humble beginning like most of you, starting out with a big vision and dreams and learning and figuring out what life has to bring as we go along in this technological shift. So we're here to support you guys. The whole purpose of this is to figure out how to assist you, how to build you, how to add some muscle to what you guys are already learning in school, and to be a support system for you when you do graduate. That's what our vision has always been. I want to thank my team. I want to thank the guys from ICOG who flew out from Ethiopia to be with you live in class. And I hope you guys are having a great time with them. They're amazing young people, just like yourselves, with visions and dreams, and with technical skills that they're able to share with you. And we're hoping that as this cohort happens and this incubator happens, that you're going to learn something and you're going to walk away with some skills that perhaps you didn't have when you started. Eventually, the hackathon will allow you to build an AI agent, perhaps a business. Perhaps Logan will say something that will inspire you to do something completely different that none of us could have thought about. I asked Logan to join today because I felt like it's a lot of learning, especially when you're in college. I went to college. We've all had a lot of learning. And so I thought, and the team thought, that it would be amazing to give you guys a chance to meet someone who's, like I said, started out like you and has ended up becoming a CTO and worked as a CEO and has built things that I think will help to shift the world. So without further ado, I'll let you all hear from Logan. So thank you so much, Logan, for joining us.
Yeah, thank Only Tamil I'm allowed to attempt, so I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Good morning, Chennai. As Nef said, I'm Logan Golema, a career coder and engineer. I'm coming to you from Lisbon, Portugal this morning. So I'm a few thousand miles away, but don't let the distance fool you. I'd rather be on this call with you than most of the rooms I could physically walk into, because you, students, engineers, developers on this call are about to build things the rest of the world hasn't imagined yet. And India and I go back a long way. In 2019, I was on the ground in UP in Delhi, giving lectures and helping build blockchain curriculum for universities there. So this isn't my first time talking to you all about the future. It's just the first time I'm doing it through a screen. So it's good to be back with you. I want to tell you 3 things this morning: who I was when I started, what I've learned about building and why I think the people in this room specifically are sitting on top of the most valuable position in the world right now. So let's go. When I was young, I was a coder. That's it. Not a founder, not a CEO, not a blockchain pioneer. None of those words existed for me yet. I was a kid writing apps and I was a gamer. I spent 6 years competing at the highest level of professional gaming. And people would ask me back then, what are you doing with your life? Games? Code? Where does that go? I didn't have an answer. I just knew that I liked to build and I liked to compete, and I couldn't stop doing either one. So here's what I didn't know at the time. Every one of those hours was teaching me the same lesson from two directions. Gaming taught me how to fail 10,000 times and show up for the 10,001st round, like the first 10,000 didn't count. And coding taught me that if you can imagine a system clearly enough, you can will it into existence, line by line, out of nothing but logic and a bit of stubbornness. Failure tolerance and the power to create, that's the whole game. That's the builder's mindset. And I promise you, every single person in this room already has the raw material for both. So let me give you exactly what I actually came here to give you. The things I wish someone had said to me at your stage. Number one, start before you're ready. I bought my first Bitcoin back before I had a traditional bank account. Think about that. I was in the technology before I was in the banking system. I didn't wait for permission. I didn't wait for it to be safe or obvious or approved by older people than me. Every important thing I've built started the same way. Before I was qualified, before I was ready, before anyone told me it was a good idea. Here's the secret nobody tells you. Nobody is ready. The people you look up to weren't ready either. They just started. They just figured it out on their own. Readiness is not a starting condition. Readiness is something you earn after you begin. So the project you've been waiting to start, the company you've been telling yourself you'll build once you have more experience, you have enough now. Start now. Start rough. Start embarrassed. Just start. Number two, build things that matter to you. There's a lot of noise in technology right now. Everybody wants you to chase the trend, the hot framework, the hot token, the hot job title, and I get it. But the projects that changed my life were never the ones I chased for money. They were the ones I couldn't put down. I contributed early to an open source AI agentic framework called ELIZA OS, not because there was a paycheck, but because of the idea of autonomous thinking agents kept me up at night. That obsession is what turned into everything after it, a $2.5 billion market cap. When you build from genuine obsession, two things happen. You outwork everyone who's only in it for the money because it doesn't feel like work, and you build something true, something with your fingerprints on it that nobody else on earth would have built the same way. The market can copy a feature. It cannot copy your obsession. Protect it. Now, number three, and this is the big one. The ground is shifting under all of us, and it's shifting in your favor. I spend my days now building AI agents in decentralized systems, autonomous software that can think, decide, and act. And I'll be honest with you about what that means. The old rules about who gets to build are over. It used to take hundreds of engineers and $10 million to build something serious. Today, one determined developer with an AI agent beside them can do the work of that entire team. The leverage available to a single person right now is the highest it has ever been in human history. And who has that leverage? Not the gatekeepers, not the people protecting the old way of doing things. You, the person who's willing to learn the new tools faster than everyone else and point them at a real problem. India is not on the sidelines of this. India is at the center of this. This country produces more engineering talent than almost anywhere on the planet, and Chennai is one of the most greatest of engines. You are not waiting for the future to arrive here. You are the people who are going to ship it. Now, I'd be doing you a disservice if I only gave you the inspiration and skipped the hard part. So here it is. The builder's mindset is not comfortable. You will ship things that will break. You will launch things that nobody uses. You will pour 6 months into an idea and watch it fail in public with your name on it. And I have more times than I can count. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't isn't talent. This room is full of talent. The whole world is. I'm not worried about your talent for 1 second. The difference is what you do in the 90 seconds after something breaks. Do you close the laptop, or do you open the file, find the bug, and go again? 6 years of professional gaming taught me exactly one thing that mattered. The round you just lost is already gone. The only round that exists is this next one. Build like that. Every failure is just data. Every bug is just the next round. You lose, you learn, you reload, you go again. So let me bring this home. You are engineers and developers in 2026 at the exact moment when the tools of creation have never been more powerful and have never been more available to a single determined person. That is not a small thing. That is arguably the best hand anyone has ever been dealt in the history of building. So don't waste it waiting. Don't waste it being ready. Don't waste it building what somebody else told you was safe. Build the thing that keeps you up at night. Build it before you're qualified. Build it rough. Ship it embarrassed. Break it in public and go again. The future is not something that is going to happen to you. The future is a piece of software, and the people in this room are the ones holding the keyboard. So go build it. I cannot wait to see what you make. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity. Chennai, let's get to work. Neff?
Pause. Really, really appreciate it. I don't know, Yeeb and Sam, maybe you can. There we go. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Well, I know that oftentimes you don't get a chance to meet mentors like Logan and myself in person. So if anybody has any questions before you go, Logan, maybe we can ask 2 or 3 questions that
absolutely
perhaps you guys have, and we'll allow Logan or myself to answer those questions. So Yeeb and Sam, maybe you can find someone or a few people that might have questions for us. I know everybody is a bit shy, but I think they're getting us set up for a potential question. I see guys working on perhaps pulling a mic together. Well, Logan, that was super inspiring. I learned something about you today. I had no idea that you were in India teaching. That's pretty awesome, bro. India is such a special place.
You know, my wife and my extended family are from New Delhi. So when I visited them, really for the first time before we were married, I went up to UP and I met with the IBM delegate for India for private and public blockchain. So that was really interesting to me. That was the first time I'd been in India. And then I spoke at a school and built a curriculum with the teachers there on public blockchain and Ethereum, which, wow. I think a lot of if I could take some credit for DeFi summer in 2019 coming out of India, that might be my fault. But yeah, the last time I was there, I was in Hyderabad and speaking with a group there. So. I haven't been to Chennai yet. I look forward to visiting.
Yeah, Chennai is absolutely beautiful. I think we have a question now in the chat. One of the questions is, what's the project you've worked on the longest and currently are working on now?
So I would say the thing that I've worked on the longest is working on Bitcoin. I've been building into Bitcoin for about a decade and a half. It's an open source repository. So building into that has been the longest. And the thing that I'm working on today is called air.es, which is an inheritance platform. So ensuring that not only your assets, but also your memories and your persona as an AI agent get passed down to the next of kin So this is probably one of the most important things to me as I just started my family.
Amazing. That's pretty awesome, bro. Well, I don't know, guys. Did you find someone in that audience that wants to ask a question? If not, you could type it into the chat. I'll read it out loud, and then Logan can answer it. I'd also like to put, I'll give this to our team so that they can actually add the link to what you're working on.
Yeah.
And the students have a chance to see it there. I actually went on last night, and I think it's pretty phenomenal that you've been able to give people a chance to put all of their assets in one place for one low phenomenal fee. It allows you to pretty much make sure that while you're living your life, those loved ones that you want to support when you're not living your life have all of the things that you need. And that's, again, speaking towards what you were talking about to the students, is working on things that you love. You know, a lot of these incubators we don't put together because we just want to see people and bodies in a room. We're trying to inspire the youth and the new generation to build the things that they love. That was one of the inspirations behind me building Beyond the Code. It was to simplify very technical language for people who don't understand AI or artificial general intelligence or robotics and wonder what it has to do with them. So finding the opportunity to work in Kenya and India and all of these other amazing locations with young people who are doing exactly what you said, figuring it out. Some of these things and some of these students that are amongst you will be the ones who figure out things that we use. So I want to encourage you guys to stay curious. There's a second question. What do you think a young gens like this person should do to continue coding even when AI is here?
Yeah, so I mean, this could be, it'd go one way or another, right? And you know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, like my kid is right now, the tools are going to be, I can only listen to music. Is there anything going on here? Let me answer the first question. So there's a huge gap right now in extended intelligence. Claude, GPT, Kimi, these open source models. I would focus on the open source models. Find the best, cheapest extended intelligence that you can. I think our partners here at SingularityNET and OpenCog are able to help and provide for those. But also look at Hugging Face. It's a website called Hugging Face. It's where all the open source models are. You might need a pretty good computer to run some of them. Sometimes you don't. But that'll give you the opportunity to try extended superintelligence without paying a very large fee every month to Anthropic, Claude, or ChatGPT to be able to use these coding models. Continue coding, continue learning logic systems and how to read code and how to really build infrastructure and projects. Like if you have these extended intelligence, it will do the coding for you, but it'll only do what you ask of it. And if you don't ask the right questions, it will do some things the wrong way. And you know, I've created I created a way for people to ask the right questions. And what I'll do is I'll provide this team a free copy of my ebook, which people are buying around the world, but to this class, so that you know exactly the right questions to ask.
Oh, that's phenomenal, Logan. Thank you so much for that. That's really awesome. I'll throw in another question for you too, just not to cut you off, but just so we can field a few more questions that are coming in. A student also asked, do you recommend internships or just building?
Yeah, I mean, money is important, right? And I said that, don't build a thing for money, and like having a job is ultimately very, very important. and I know in India it's very competitive. So if the route to you being able to feed yourself, home yourself, and feed your family is, proving in an internship that you can go and get the job, then yes, do an internship to go and prove yourself to that corporation that has their route to being able to pay you. Everybody is in a different situation. If you have what is called runway as a person, meaning you have the ability to kind of fend for yourself and build the things that you see, and you want to take the risk reward, then building can be more rewarding. However, again, there's risk to that. I have fallen into a lot of those risk holes over the years, and if I have had failed startups. It is the startup, again, that finds the issue that you see in the world to fix society. And if you can build something that people are bound to use and pay, a little bit for, then there's so many people in India that even people paying, a couple rupees, right? You can start to make a bunch of crores. So it again, risk reward. It's very important
Awesome.
that you feed
That's
yourself
that's a
and for yourself.
that's big. I will give the last question online. Sam, Yeb, if there are other questions that students have, we'll take one or two of those. Another question has come in, and almost it's a statement and a question for you, Logan. A decade and a half is crazy, showing the dedication is awesome. And I got another question. How do you handle distractions, other important aspects of life apart from building?
Yeah, that's a big one. And thank God I just started my family, which is not a distraction, but is a main quest in my life. It's not even a side quest. Before my wife got pregnant and we really were going on this journey, shutting out a lot of things that I could have done with friends, or really putting my own health aside to code and do my startups was built into my own obsession, where you have to prioritize things in your life so that you do not crash and burn out, which is your health, eating well, working out, having enough of a social life to not go crazy and be a shut-in, and have some friends and have people that check in on you. But when something is important enough to you, and that could be the coding at the job that you just got, or it can be building the thing that you're obsessed with, the distractions don't really happen. And you will, if you're like me, you'll bring your laptop to the dinner table. You will not sit and watch, TV all day. Or if you do, you will be on your laptop. If you go to the park, you will be at your laptop. And that is what being a technical founder means. That's what being a CTO means. Being I can just tell you and my wife doesn't really like this, but I was traveling and I was at Machu Picchu, and I had to take a phone call from one of my teammates asking for a one-time password, because I was the one who controlled the one-time password. So
Wow.
when you get to the highest levels of engineering and security, you have to be immediately available, and there's no taking that back once you get there.
Okay, well, listen, there are a few questions I want to add to that. Work-life balance, kids. Like, work-life balance. Definitely keep yourself healthy, eat well, sleep well. Sleep deprivation is real. I think oftentimes what we often need to do is just put that laptop down a little bit, take a walk, stretch, and breathe, because there's a lot going on. One of the questions that came in was for me, are you just focusing on India or also looking at incubators in Southeast Asia, China, Korea, Philippines? When we built Beyond the Code, we never saw it being in one location. We are following the ask and also the demand. And so we've been all over the world. This is not our first stop nor the last. So yes, we have no discrimination. We'll go to every corner of the world that allows us to help students, engage students, and become a positive figure in students' lives. I think another question came in, Logan, that I'd be happy if you answer is, I'm from Kenya and have been participating in hackathons and similar programs, but it's hard to land global opportunities. I'll take the first part of that. You know, when I first started with SingularityNET, the idea for me was becoming a more clear person with an understanding about technology. I made records for half my life. And as I watched the record industry change and the film industry change, I wanted to understand what solutions look like. How could I actually make sure that my IP was not only continue to be managed by me and owned by me, but that others couldn't make stations with my music like Spotify. When I go to Spotify, there's a station that has all of my records. I didn't give them those. So my fight and plight was about figuring out ways to not only control IP, to manage IP, but to also monetize IP, whether it's in the arts, music, film. I wanted to figure it out. So in this journey as a filmmaker and storyteller, like Logan said earlier, I just do what I love. And so I took what I understood most passionately, what I loved, and I created a doc series that then spun into me creating these incubators and hackathons for students just like yourself. I got a record deal when I was 16. I was in college when I was in my early and late teens and early 20s. And I realized then that I wanted to do something more than just be popular on the radio or have people that have bought my record. I wanted to impact the world and give them an opportunity to learn something from me, also dance to great music. But as an adult, I wanted to make sure that people like myself that came from humble beginnings like myself had access to technology. And not only just access to technology, but access to people like Logan, access to people like myself who have built successful businesses that can answer questions and potentially be mentors. So this isn't really just about being a part of yet another hackathon. I built BASIX with my partner Saskia because what we could see is that there were hundreds of students like yourself that would learn technological languages, that would build AI agents, or have incredible ideas about building businesses, but there was no one to support those businesses. So what we're looking for are those folks who are going to build what they love, will assess it, and if those are go-to-market companies, we're going to help you take those companies to market. That's the intention behind this incubator. Also, the two students and the two developers that you're with are from ICOG Labs. ICOG Labs was built with that same intention in Ethiopia. So the guys that are in front of you in class, those guys came in as interns, and now they're teaching you in India. So it's not just about being a part of something that promises, it's about being a part of something that actually delivers. So I will say to you, whomever this person is that asked the question, because a lot of times when we're online, we're using names that aren't particularly ours. Stick around, join these cohorts, look at SingularityNET, look into ICOG, and get involved. Figure out where those access points are for you. Reach out to us. None of us are beyond reaching out to you and looking at your CV and figuring out what your capabilities are, what your sweet spot is, and pointing you in the right direction. None of us are beyond that. Logan, I'll let you also tackle that same statement.
Yeah, no, that was greatly said. And I would say, you know, from the blockchain perspective, that there are global initiatives for these blockchains to go into your cities and into your countries. And if you are determined enough and you go to their office hours, go to their Zoom calls, go into their X spaces, just be persistent and be professional and show true value as to how you can be one of their global ambassadors, that really means a lot. go to, get on Eventbrite or go to meetups or go to the events that they're hosting for free. Sometimes they have snacks and drinks and friends and people that you can network with. And, over the course of my career, networking and being able to just talk about myself and feel confident about my abilities in a room is how I became, friends and colleagues with Miss Nefertiti here. So it really is true is your network is your net worth, and how quickly you can rebound from something is how quickly you can reach out to allies and friends and colleagues to bring you back into the fray. So I would say start with that and start with the networking events that are happening in your city.
And also, guys, nothing happens overnight. So persistence is what will get you everything. When you're giving up because you haven't won, you've entered 1 million hackathons and no one's taking you seriously, continue to do what you do. If you truly believe in your project, I've been working on my project in the tech space for the last almost 5 years. I haven't gotten to where I want to go, but this is a part of the journey. So stay focused on the journey. The journey doesn't end because somebody else qualifies you. You have to qualify yourself in those rooms. So I know, Logan, you have to jump. I want to thank you again on behalf of our team for being here. I also want to thank everybody on behalf of Beyond the Code and SingularityNET and ICOG Labs. Thank you, St. Joseph's Institute students who joined us today, and also those who joined us on the live session. Your curiosity and participation and willingness to explore the future of AI and emerging technologies are what make this incubator so meaningful. We look forward to you learning, building, and innovating together throughout this journey. We've got another few weeks to go. This is just the beginning. And again, I want to thank you, Logan, for being here. If your friends haven't gotten a chance to see this, you can go to YouTube to the beyondthecode.ai channel. This will be streaming all day. And this is the first mentor of many. And of course, you guys will see Logan back here again before this is all over. And you'll also see Logan during the hackathon. So he's no stranger. You can reach out to us. We'll put you in touch. He's also going to be checking in on the WhatsApp. So if there are questions there, you guys can see those questions there. We also added Air link so that you can see what Logan actually built and have a chance to ask more questions. Thank you guys so much for your participation today. And I hope you have a great rest of your course. Thank you. Thank you, guys.